Okay, the last and final tutorials, tutorial 6. We'll do that one now. Let's click on that, and let's right-click here. I know we just saved this, but let's save it anyway, just to follow the tutorial. Yes. And then I've printed it out as before. Let's go open that library and do a file, save library as tutorial 6. Okay. And then let's see. First thing is we create a cell called pad. So save cell, new cell, pad. And then, okay, we go to the artwork menu and select a box. Put that over here. And let's see, it says here, just following the tutorial, we want this box to be 400 by 400. So it's centered around 0. Let's change its size to 400. 400. Okay, hit fit or fill. Let's go now make a pad frame. That's also a schematic. Oh wait, that's a layout view. So Control N, and we want layout pad frame. So we're doing this a little different. This time we're making the layout before we make the schematic. And again, in all these tutorials, what I'm trying to do is just make them different so that you learn the tool. Okay, let's go put the pad in here. Let's query that and center it on 0. Okay, then next we're going to use the array command, and we can zoom out and see that's the only thing in the cell. We've selected that pad cell, and we go to Edit, Array, or F6, and let's make 12 and 12. Hit Fill. Now we've got a bunch of cells in there. And what we need to do is delete everything but the 10 pads on each side. So what I'm going to do, select everything, then press Shift, come over here, then select those. Shift is still held there, there, and there, and hit Delete. And let's save it. So that's our nice pad frame, and we can see the size there, but let's go ahead and measure it. So I press the toggle distance and just eyeballing it, pulling it over. It's roughly 4,800. You can keep going. To get out of this mode, you can press this again. The measurements show up. To get rid of the measurements, go back into mode and hit escape twice. Or you can press M, and that gets you out of the mode and back to the cursor, click, zoom, wire. Okay. Let's go down into the pad cell. Let's do this. So we could double click on this, or we could select this cell and go cell, down hierarchy, or hit Control D. What we're going to do is use the pad as metal 2, metal 3. So go over here, drop this down in, and hit Query, and then looking at the dimensions, we want the pad's final size to be 75 micron by 75 microns. So let's go 250, 250, and then let's center it, 0. Okie dokie. And then if we go back and look at the pad frame now, let's show those. You can see there's our nice little pads. And let's see, we need to go back into the pad and add passivation. So right now, let's look at the 3D view of this. 3D window, 3D view. Come over here and look. And there we see our metal 3 and metal 2. Metal 3 is the top layer of metal in this process, the C5 process. We'll go to Components and Pure, and then we'll select Passivation, which opens up a cut in the passivation. It's sometimes called Overglass by Moses. And we'll just drop this in right here. Hit Q, and then what size did we want? 200 by 200. And let's center it. I moved it way off to the side, but let's not. Let's set it at 0 and 0. Okay. And then let's see what else. Oh, we need to do an export. So let's select the metal 3, metal 2 node. Do a Control E. What did we call it? In, out. Since a pad is just a bare pad. Now we can't see it, so let's zoom in down here. There it is. I'll use Control until I select it. And then make it, what size? Notice the maximum size is 127.75 and the minimum size is 0.25, so let's use 125. Fit. Whoops. No, I guess we'll use 25. Getting ahead of myself there. 25. And now we need to make a schematic view. So let's go back. Look at our Explorer, Pad. So we go to Control N for a new cell. Pad, Schematic View, OK. Drop down an off-page node. Zoom. Control E. In, out. So we're exporting this port. Say OK. Now let's make a icon view. And on that, let's go to Control D, go down in there, and then select this box. And we want to change the size of the box. You don't use Control B for this because it's an open polygon. Rather, use Edit, Modes, Edit, Toggle Outline, Edit, or just press Y. And let me turn the grid on. Try to make it the same size as what we had here. Control G. And pull this up here. This down here. Let me see, is that right? Nope. Yeah. To get out of this mode, we can do that Edit, Modes, Edit, Toggle Outline, or press Y. Let's move this. Actually, let's just move this over. I'll use the mouse. Yep, like that. And I can see it a little better. And then it doesn't match, so let me select that again, press Y, pull that up, etc. And down. Yeah, good enough. Press Y again. Fit. Control G, shut the grid off, go back up. There it is. Let's pull it down. Looking good. Alrighty. Now let's go to the pad frame. Or let's make a schematic view for the pad frame. New cell, Control N, pad frame. Okay. Then let's go drag that icon in here and fit, and then query this, or go to node properties, and let's call it pad 1 through 40, so we get 40 of them. Expand a little, use Control and click until I get what I want. Oops. Until I get what I want there. And so there's 40 pads now. So we need an export. So let's put a off-page node here so we can connect to the 40 pins. And let's move it over like this. And then let's export this and call this Control E. Pin 1:40. Alrighty. Then you can see in the tutorial, let's pull it down here. Where's the pin connection? So here's our little chip, and then this is the package, and so the chip's epoxied there, and then bond wires go from the pads over to the package, and you can see that pin 1 is the 5th pin down on the right. So we need to go back over to our pad frame. And whoops, let me make sure I do this the same way. Did we make an icon first for this? I think we did. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Oh, I guess we didn't make an icon yet, so I'm right on track. All right, so let's go back over to here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is pin 1, so I do a Control E, pin 1. Now I'm gonna, okay, I can't see the export, so I'm gonna zoom in here. It's right in the middle. Use the Control and click, and then make the text size again. This is max 127. I'll make it 125. Okay, now I can see it. So I can do this on the others, and I don't know, I'm sure there's a trick where it automatically increments, but I'm just going to do it manually, and actually I'm going to go offline and finish this just so we, so that's 2. I'll do the first 5. Only takes a minute, but why waste a minute of the video doing this when I can do it offline? Save storage space. Control E, pin 5. Okay, so I need to change the text size on all 4 of those. So what I'll do is I'll just grab those, then do a Control I, then select the text, remove the others, and then set the size to 125, hit apply, okay. And that's a little trick to get it all in there. So let me just go offline for a minute. When we come back, I'll have them all labeled. This will be pin 40. Okay, and there we have it. Okay, so we need to go back to the schematic. Now let's make sure that it DRCs correctly. One warning. That's probably to do with the, what's the warning? Let's do a shift. One warning. Oh yeah, there's artwork in the layout. But we did that. We can delete the artwork at this point. For us, it has no fabrication significance, and no, the layout and the schematic match. So now let's go back to the pad frame and go to View, Make Icon View, Fit, and do a Control D, go down into that icon, and let's press Y, or Edit Mode, Edit, Toggle Outline Edit, Y, turn the grid back on, G, and let's see. Does that look about right? I think it does. Press Y again. And let's move this. Fit. Use the arrows. Looking good. Go back into the schematic, and let's move it up a little bit. Alright, so what do we need to do? Oh yeah, we need to place things now. We're almost there. So we need to place the Nand, the inverter. And before we do that, let's make our schematic. So Control N, A, final chip, and we pick that name just so when we create it, shows up at the top here. Let's turn the grid off. We're going to place our NAND gate, inverter, and the ring oscillator. Well, we don't have a where's the ring oscillator? We don't have an icon view for the ring oscillator, so let's go ahead and just make another view here, new version, and then delete the text there. Hit fit, and I'm going to place this directly in the top cell. So this is just an example of doing it without an icon. Okay, but we need an export, so let's go put one on here. Yep, we have a wire arc. And then Control E, oscillator out. And then we need to go back to the layout to make it match. And I could make another view. I'm not going to. I'm just going to get rid of the spice code, get rid of that name, the node name. Come down here, select that pin, oscillator out. OK, zoom, and then Control Q, and then text size 125. Whoops, no. Text size is 10. I don't think it says here. We'll just put 10 and see what happens. Whoops. 10. OK. And looking good. Let's do an NCC. Everything checks. All right, so let's go back to our schematic. And let's put the icon in here. Try to keep it similar looking. The inverter icon. The ring oscillator, which doesn't have an icon. I'm not going to show what's inside. And then, of course, the pad frame. That does have an icon. Okay. So first thing let's do is put the bus here. Okay, let's go back and select the bus arc. And then let's label that. I guess we don't need it that long. And call that pin 1:40. So we have 40 pins. And then let's just put some arcs. Whoops. Control Z. Get the wire arc. Put those here. Of course, we need power in here too. And so let's drop power and ground. And in there, in that tutorial, we decided we connect power and ground to pins 40 and 20. So let's connect that to pin 40. And that to pin 20. And of course, we could come over here and connect them into the bus, but they're connected just by the labels there. And then here, A goes to pin 1, pin 2, pin, I'm double clicking on there instead of using Control I, pin 3, pin 4, pin 5, pin 6. Okay, let's do an F5. Alright, this is what we're going to fabricate, and those are the pins where they're connecting. We're connecting power to pin 40, etc. So let's go make a layout view, Control N, for our A chip final, or was a final chip. A final chip. Did I call it the same thing in there? Yep, okay. Final chip. Okay. First thing let's throw down in there is the pad frame. Doesn't matter exactly where we're putting things. Then let's put in the ring oscillator. And it's connecting to pin 6, so we'll put it up there. Then the Nand gate we'll put over here. And then the inverter. Now, of course, this isn't practical because the inverter and the Nand gate will be really slow, and the ring oscillator may not even oscillate because the off-chip loading will be substantial. Okay, so now we're going to be handicapped if we don't do something here. Every time I go to try to connect one of these nodes because they overlap, I'm going to also be selecting the pad frame. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the pad frame, then do a Control-I, and then make it hard to select. So now I'll only get these cells in here. The problem is, if I want to connect pin 20 up to ground over here, which I'll do in a moment, in order to select pin 20 now, I can't unless I go back and change it back to easy to select, unless I use this toggle special select, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to connect pin 20 to ground right now. So there's my pin 20. I'm going to left click on it, and then I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to zoom in, and then right click on the ground. And if I do that, I get this long piece of metal 2 coming over to metal 1 and going up. And there's the vias going up to connect ground. And again, I'm not going to size the conductors. That would be something you'd do. Okay, Control-I and then go to 30 or whatever and change things. All right, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we can hit DRC, no errors. Before I go any further, I'm going to export that. So I'll go back, select special select, hit Control until I select the pin, do a Control-E, GND. It's going to be tiny, so I'm going to have to zoom in, turn the special select off, zoom in here, or I guess I could also just select everything and then go through and only query it and or edit its properties and then go in and remove the others just like I did with the pins. So let's set that to 125 just so I can see it. Then I got to connect grounds up to the others, so why don't I do that right now before I go any further. Zoom. Yeah, I can move all these around, but let's zoom in here. There's my ground. And then I'll come down here and right click. And it's connected. And then again, ground comes over here. And I knew that was ground, but I could zoom in and see it right there. Hit F5, no errors. Next, let's connect VDD up. So I got a special select, and that was pin 40. So let me see what layer I'm on. So why don't I go to... Yeah, let's just keep it on that layer. Or actually, let's do it. There's lots of ways of doing it. So I gotta go back and deselect that and go here. Let's do it this way. Control Z. Let's say I want to stay on there, so I'm going to put a pin. Then I'm going to go to Special Select and right click. And that's a little different, but there's, like I said, all kinds of different ways of doing this. And while I've got this selected, I'm just going to pause and do a Control-E, VDD. And let's turn that off. Come in here, Control-I, select that, remove the others, set the size to 125, OK. And of course, if I want to see the pad frame and all that, I can, whoops, I gotta turn the special select back on. I can see all that like this. Okay, but I don't, so I won't. So let's close those. Turn the special select back off. Go back over here. Zoom in on that and get the pin. Okay, so just go up here. Right click. And go over here, and then go back and select this pin. So I'm using the scroll bar or the scroll wheel of the mouse. Go up here, select that. Let's do a DRC real quick. No errors. Okay, right clicked, fit. Okay, so let's zoom in here. Come up here. F5, no errors. Okay, I got my VDD, I got my ground. Alright, so what do we connect next? Let's go connect the output of the ring oscillator to let's put a pin there. I don't know what it's going to do. Select that. Actually, let's not. Let's select this. Zoom in. I'm handicapping myself, but go over here. Good enough. F5. Then go back to metal 2. Oops. Control Z. Let's deselect that. Select that. Go right click. Expand a little bit. Where we want to go. Oh yeah, turn a special select on. Whoops, Control Z it. Let's get a little close first. A little closer. And then here we go. That's pin 6. I don't think I need to export that. Okay, so that's connected up. And then what is pin 5 is the NAND gate output. So let's go over here. There's our output. Let's grab it. I've got to turn that off or I won't be able to grab it. Nope, I don't want that. I want this. So let's see if I can. Alright. And that was going up here to pin, oops, pin 5. And special select and right click. Good enough. F5. And pin 4 was the, what was that? Pin 4. Oops, not that. We want the chip, the top. Okay, pin 4. Oh, shoot. I gotta move those around. So the NAND gate was the pin 1, 2, and 3. Is that the way I did it in the tutorial? Pin 1, pin 2, pin 3? Oh, poop. Alright, so my error. So let's hit Control Z a few times. And then, yeah, this will make it a little more challenging. This is the inverter, so that goes to pins. Let's put a, I should rewire it. Let's not be lazy. Let's get rid of this. Delete, Control, delete, expand. Yeah, turn that off so I don't handicap myself. Select that, delete. Delete. Just delete the pin if I can get it. I'm using Control, zoom in on here. I'll just delete that. Zoom. This one goes down. This one goes up. And I guess problems are good. And then what was the last thing? Oh yeah. I have some extra pins in here, so let's hit F5. Then let's go to cell, clean up pins everywhere. And then go down here, and this is ground. Oh, we gotta connect the VDD up. and the ground up, and ground up. And now the output here, and the input here. Let's go connect those like this. And then get our, let's see, pin. That goes to pin 5, pin 6. So select that, go up here, whoops, Control Z. Let's put a metal 2 pin in here. Oh yeah, this is good times. Then go up, expand a little bit, and we want to go all the way up to pin 5. And then the input, zoom, put a metal pin there, go up, we'll turn this off, Control Z, go back here, select that, turn that back on, connect that, Control Z, turn it back on, let's get a little closer. Let's get even closer. Oops. Huh. Doesn't matter. We can fix that if we want by controlling the arc, but it's not going to fail DRCs. Okay, and then pin 3 is the output, so zoom. And let's put some pin there. Now turn that off. And that's the output. And select this pin. Let's go up here. Okay, F5 it, no errors. Okay, go back down, and then pin A is connected to pin 1. Let's turn that off, put a pin in here. Okay. Okay, let's F5 it, and then last but not least, let's connect up. Actually, let's do it this way. Go to metal 3, turn off the special select, F5, yep, go down. So I'm on metal 3 just to make it easier. Turn special select back on, F5, hit. Okay, not the same, but looks similar. Okay, so let's do a well check, no well errors. Let's do a DRC, no DRC errors. And let's do a layout versus schematic. Yay, we got it working. So just to show the whole chip, we can go take a look. And there's our entire chip with our ring oscillator up here, VDD, and ground. All right, let's stop here.